That's right, Huel and Taryn, I got to tell you, they're hoping it works, and here's why. The last time that she went out there, the vice president did, and talked about vaccinations, they actually saw an uptick in the number of people in South Carolina who went out to get the shot. And so the question is, will that work in Detroit? She did a rally behind me just a few doors down in which she was talking right to community leaders and also to first responders. The message wasn't necessarily to them. The message wasn't about the importance of vaccinations to those people in the room because they were ambassadors of sorts. And the vice president was telling these nurses, these first responders, these community leaders, these pastors, they were telling them, you got to go out in the community. You have to go out into the neighborhoods, and you have to tell people who don't want to get vaccinated that this is the time. Many people have asked the question, you know what are the long-term effects of this vaccine? You know what are the short-term effects? I'm going to wait 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. The vice president telling us, again, in an exclusive interview, it's been 6 months or so. It's time to get the shot. Take a listen. We know that the mistrust that happened because of the Flint water crisis is leading some to mistrust the vaccine. How do you help people who have gone through and seen what happened in Flint with the government saying things will be okay to believe them this time?
Well, believe your own physician. Believe your doctor or your kid's pediatrician, who will tell you that the safest thing you can do is get vaccinated. Believe the public health professionals. You can believe at every level. They're from Dr. Kizzy Corbett, who is a black woman who helped create the vaccine that is saving lives, to your physician, to the person who works in the health clinic where you attend. Believe them.
We heard the nurses. In fact, the nurse who introduced you was pretty spirited.
Yeah.
Got the crowd riled up. It's going to take first responders and community leaders. So you're giving them the order to go out into their communities and talk about this, right?
I am inspired by our frontline workers, our nurses, our hospital staff, the home health care workers, people who work in senior centers, who have been, since the beginning of this pandemic, risking their own lives to save the life of people they just met, perfect strangers. I do believe that in this crisis, the heroes among us have been unveiled, including and in particular our frontline workers, nurses, home health care workers, who have been leading the charge, and I think we all should follow.
There were 2 orders of business for the vice president, who, by the way, just a few moments ago, we heard all of the state police motorcycles revving up as they were taking the motorcade away from here just about 10 minutes ago. So she has left the building, so to speak, here at the TCF Center. But when she was done talking about vaccinations, Huel, she went into another room, into a listening session where they were talking about voter rights, a big concern for the Biden administration and also Republican lawmakers who don't see eye to eye on how things should go for the midterm elections relative to how our elections are run. Yet at the same time, Vice President Harris says it's critically important that as we look out for the health of our family members when it comes to this virus, we look out for the health of our democracy when it comes to voter rights being protected. Reporting live at the TCF Center in Detroit, Roop Raj, Fox 2 News.
Roop, I thought it was important to see how emotional the vice president was about this very issue, getting more people vaccinated.
It's interesting you say that, Huel. You know, we stood about 6 feet apart, but from here to where my camera person's standing right now, and there was a moment where she took pause and said that if this Delta variant goes the way people think it will, and if the vaccination rate in the city of Detroit remains where it is, and she paused and got choked up saying, people will lose their lives. People will die. And she wants to make sure that doesn't happen. And so she said, Huel, if it takes the vice president and the president to tour the country to get people vaccinated, that's what she will do.
Sadly, now 99% of the people now dying from COVID-19 are unvaccinated. That's just the truth. All right, Roop, thank you.
You're right. And 60% of the city of Detroit, Huel, right now remains unvaccinated. And that is a critical concern.
Absolutely. All right, Roop, thank you.
Michigan Congressman Bill Huizenga responding to the vice president's visit tonight, saying it's time for the Biden-Harris administration to prioritize Michigan residents and businesses impacted by the pandemic.
And not just a grip and grin and raise some money for the governor kind of a trip. I hope that she is actually going to listen to community leaders and make sure that the focus of this administration is on helping Michigan and not hurting it. And so far, what I've seen It's not been because of this administration. It's been despite this administration. Michigan has been doing as reasonably well as it has been.